Star Ocean. So Star Ocean is one of Square Enix's long series, and probably honestly, their only dedicated, I want to say, super sci-fi futuristic kind of game, space-wise, and one of Tri-Ace's known games. Shout out to Radio Stories. I hope they bring that game back one of these days. Yeah, I'm still holding on to that island. I'm going to still stand on that tower. I still want that game to come back. But Star Ocean, Star Ocean Defying Force is another game that also has a demo that is out. You can check it out. And I believe it's coming out October 24th. And when I played the demo, I couldn't get past one thing that they do with the Star Ocean games. And it's just the look of the characters. They're just so ragdolly to me. Like I don't know why. Like, first of all, I'm just not a big fan of the main character, Raymond. I just don't like the way he looks. I think he's like the worst looking one out of all the character designs. Out of all of them to me. Really? Oh, hands down to me. And then the fact that, like, even when they talk, their hair just shakes like other, like, people's hair do not shake that crazy every time they move their head like that. I don't care if you have long hair. You don't shake that crazy. But it feels like a rag doll. It feels like if you shake a doll with fake hair, they just go like that. But it's the eyes. The eyes is the part that gets me the most. Their eyes are just, like, buggy to me. I don't know why. It's kind of like those fish eyes kind of looks. But anyways, so, and the funny part is, I couldn't get past that the story was too familiar than Star Ocean 3 End of Time, because it almost has a similar thing. There's a character in that game named Fate that is with his family, and some chaos what happens, and their ship was about to crash. They get in an escape pod, and they end up crashing on an underdeveloped planet. Defying Force, it's similar to that, of they're in a ship, he's a captain of the ship of his crew and everything like that, and they get attacked by this unknown ship, and they end up using escape pod and crashing down on the underdevelopment planet, where he's stuck between two kingdoms that are kind of going at war each other per se. And so when I played the demo for it, for one, I guess I could argue that I like the battle system better than the previous ones. But the battle system is still interesting, once again, because you're trying to meet you in the middle of, it's a hack and slash, but also a turn-based per se is weird, or active turn-based, because like you can slash, but you have to wait for your meter to build up before you can do another combo. You just can't go up and just do a combo. And keep going and going and going. You can only do so much until your bar's down and do it. It almost reminds me of Tells per se. The only difference is, though, Tells with their TP, it can be built up of how many hits that you have, and it only depletes when you use a super move in most Tell games. And so for this one, for me personally, I liked it, but at the same time, some of the moves and the sets, it just wasn't liking. I end up picking the third guy, the servant, for the two characters, because I thought he had the coolest moves and everything like that. But Brian, would you say like the when it came to the fighting, it was hard to see who did what, because there was just a lot of flashiness everywhere when you were playing?
I mean, like particle effects and stuff.
Yeah, like everybody was just all attacking, so sometimes I thought I did a giant move. Like, no, it's the guy with the giant sword that slashed, but I thought it was me doing that move.
See, I think Tales has the same. Tales of Arise has the same issue, but yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know, these type of RPGs are just getting weird. Like, I don't really feel, when I level up in these games, I don't really feel much stronger at all. It seems more hectic. Like, I get a sense of feeling stronger when I take a hit from somebody and it doesn't do as much damage, or I don't die in one hit or something, versus this one where I'm just swinging and he's swinging and we're just swinging and I don't even have time to look at my health so much. These type of RPG games are weird to me.
Yeah, because like all the Star Ocean games, battle system are weird, are all weird like that. Tri-Ace is weird. Tri-Ace is a love and hate developer to me, because I know that they have the idea, but their execution just never works out in their favor for me. And so, and this also goes to this, not just a game, but Radiance of Fate, that like kind of like a steampunk shooter kind of game. Like, cool idea, just the execution is just not working for me right now. But this one, I kind of have a little bit more hope, better than their last game, The Last Hope, and that's the one you have.
I had one before that.
No, we're not talking about Integrity and Great. We're talking about that. The one before is called The Last Hope. Yeah, the last one is Last Hope.
The one that's not god awful, but not
Last Hope,
but not really good either.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think that's it.
Where definitely you saw that this is definitely feels different from that one. I can tell the difference, but also too, like, I guess, like, I don't know what you picked. Did you pick the frame rate or did you pick the quality at the beginning? I
always pick frame rate. I don't care about
So how did it look for you on the PS5? Because I played it on the PS4.
Yeah, it looked fine.
Did it run real? It ran okay on mine a little bit. I feel like there was a little bit of hiccups here and there.
I'm very bad 60 frame snob. If it ain't running at 60 frames, I don't hardly play it. And yeah, it ran at 60, so it was fine.
Okay.
It's playable. But
okay.
Yeah.
But once again, it just felt like, for me, is that I just wasn't feeling, it wasn't there. I just wasn't feeling enough. It felt the same way, kind of familiar to Valkyrie to me, where you're just running, and then you wait for this one thing. Like, there wasn't. And the bad part is they're having conversation while they're fighting, and it's hard to pay attention to what they're talking about while I'm in the fighting. It is like, I'm missing some cute things here, because they're not going to have these, certain RPG games where you run to a certain point, there's a cutscene. Then you run a little more, there's another cutscene. Yeah. Here is more they're running and they're having a conversation. I'm like, I don't know what's going on because I'm trying to fight. Like, why are you guys going to have this conversation now?
In defense, I mean, you could have it in English so you can understand it. There's a game called Gunvolt, and the first two games, there's like 4 of them now. The first 2 games are in Japanese. You cannot change it. And you're running and you're dodging because it's kind of Metroidvania-ish. And he's speaking in Japanese, but there's words across the screen, but you're still running and moving. I have no clue what's going on half the time because I'm dodging stuff. But it's in Japanese. Like, he's speaking Japanese and I'll have to read.
Did you play it in Japanese, the Star Ocean one?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying, though, at least... Though they're talking while battling, at least it's in English so you can hear them versus trying to read subtitles and play the game. That's so much worse.
So,
but I agree. They should have just made it a cutscene. So,
what's your feeling on what do you think of the characters that you met? Now, I talked to you about I wasn't a big fan of Ray and whatnot.
I'm not a big fan of anybody in that game. Honestly.
Nobody? Okay.
They all seem just whatever. Just tropes. They were all tropes.
I do like the girl and the guy because at least they stand out a little bit more than Ray, to me personally.
Yeah, well, that's by comparison.
But it's just my personal.
Shit compared to that is, I guess, better than nothing. So.
Yeah. Well, at least it felt like. Now, I will say that the girl, she does sound like that she's reading off a paper. Like, there is no emotions in her voice when she reads. I don't know if you got that.
I got it.
Yeah, but her servant did more work. And you could feel like, okay, at least there's more thing. But her is more of, it just felt like you are reading on a sheet of paper right now. It's like, I don't like Ray, but at least Ray has a personality where I can say, I don't like you because of what your character is. But whatever.
But this character, you don't like her or the voice actress. So.
Yeah, I know, right? It's weird. But I think I like the fact that she's this kind of royalty that doesn't understand what's going on. I guess that's the charm I like about her. I like about that. And so, did you switch around the 3 and try out some of their stuff? You only just stuck with Ray?
I didn't play that long.
Oh, okay. Well, you played enough where I was at, so you didn't try out the other characters on that. Okay, I tried them all out. I actually liked the servant character. I thought he had the cool moves because he had to do 2 discs, and I thought that was pretty cool with the combos. I do like the fact that your Square-Enix and Circle are basically a set you can make for themselves. So if for each one, so for instance, like Square, there's 3 columns, and then same thing with X and Circle, and you can highlight your moves in there. So you got more sets of diversity of moves that you want to do. So you can press Square 3 times, and then you have 1, 2, and 3 different moves, or your triangle have different sets. So I like that you can kind of switch it around about that. I thought that was really cool. That way you don't have to worry about going back in and say, oh, I got a new move. Let me just throw it in there. At least now you can have up to 6 moves and have them in set of 3s. So I kind of like that. Now the skill tree though reminds me a lot like Astral Chain, per se, where you get enough points and then it just feels like it's all connecting.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the only one, but yeah, it kind of has that Astral Chain feel. And the cool part about it, I
was thinking of what game it was too. I was like, what does this feel like?
Yeah,
it is Astral Chain. It so is. Yep.
Yeah, which it's pretty cool because I like the fact that just like Astral Chain in this game, you can see ahead of what the moves look like before you purchase them, or if you want to go down that path. Because, you know, there's a move you want, but you have to make it there by buying more. You have to be spending points to get to that point. But it's cool you can see ahead of that. Yeah. And I'm not going to say Valkyrie Elysium didn't do that either. They did that too. You can see stuff ahead if you like. But either way, I think I'm more excited for Star Ocean for that. So overall, the demo's okay. I want to see more to see what they're going to do, because even at the last part, it got a little confusing when you got the robot and then you got this hovering power you can do. That was kind of weird. I was kind of weirded out by that. I was like, I don't get this. And the fonts are really small, very small fonts. But anyway, I am curious to see where this game goes. I think this is a game that I want to get later at a cheaper price. I don't think it's worth the full price for me right now, especially my love and hate for Star Ocean. But Valkyrie Elysium is definitely a game I'm definitely not going to get. But does Star Ocean interest you at all?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.